Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review of Sistas, Tyler Perry Sistas, Season 6, Episode 19. Dear Karma, y'all, we are getting into this episode. Y'all, this is a lot we're going to talk about, but we finna get into it. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. I am a growing channel on the way to 5,000. Hit that like button. The more you hit the like button, the more it goes through the algorithm, and more people will start to see my commentary. So let's get into it. All right, so the episode picks up where it left off with Penelope overhearing the girls talking, and Penelope is saying, "What did you say? What's going on?" Andi said that you should talk to Gary, talk to your fiance. Danny says they've been together for years. Now, somebody in the comments on last episode said that they were only together like 7 or 8 months. And I was like, now I know they was together for a good minute. So Danny confirmed it. It's been years. Now, she didn't put a number of years, but it's years, plural, meaning multiple. All right. So Penelope looks at Andi and say, tell me, Andi, you the one been sleeping with him, but she said another choice of words. Now, y'all know I don't cuss. So I'm going to be taking in and out words, right? Okay, we get it. All right. So Andi is like, you should sit down. Penelope don't want to sit down. She just like, tell me. So Andi says this. Now this, it's funny to hear how Andi, it's funny to hear how Andi describes their relationship, but then it's even funnier or crazy to hear how Gary describes their relationship. So here's Andi. Andi said, we were in love, and I thought we were really something special. I thought that we would have something. She said, I thought it would work out with me, but it didn't work out with me. She said, and when I knew that it wouldn't work out, I ended it. So she was talking about they in love, right? They were in love. And then Penelope is like, when, a time, give me a time. So Andi says it was about a week ago when they broke up. So Penelope is like, what does all of this mean? Andi said he was with you and he was with me. Penelope was like, so all of this was going on at the same time. He was with you, he was with me, and I'm pregnant. He asks you to marry him. And Penelope said, are you lying? And Andi is like, no, it's the truth. It's the truth. So she looking at the other girls and she just like, okay, am I lying? Right? So she looking at Danny and Sabrina. Sabrina like, yeah, she telling the truth. So Penelope is looking like, oh my God. And so Danny is like, I'm pretty sure, she was just like, look, I'm pretty sure that's the same ring you have. And Danny looks at Andi and is like, Andi, ain't that your ring? And Andi said, yes, that's my ring. And I'm sorry, she didn't want to tell Penelope. And Penelope said that one time that she overheard Gary on the phone talking to someone named Andi, but when she asked him about it, he said that it was someone from his job, and Andi said it was me. And then Andi says, are you wearing Laneka? I smell it. It's the perfume that he bought for me when we went on our trip to Paris. She kept saying, I'm sorry, he's a liar. So apparently they had the same perfume. All right. So then Andi just yells, he's a liar. And he is, the other word, a child without a father. Y'all know. That ain't no cuss word, but I just don't like saying it. It's a derogatory word. But anyway, and then they try to kind of comfort her a little bit. And she's like, don't touch me. But they're telling her to sit down. But she's like, no, don't touch me. So the girls just really broke it down to Penelope. Like, look, when y'all was together, he was with Andi. He did the same thing for you he did for Andi, but he did it for Andi first. He asked to marry Andi first. He gave Andi the ring first. He gave Andi the apartment first. He gave Andi the car first. He just did everything for Andi first. And then here you come, Penelope. I mean, it's a lot to hear, and she pregnant. I was like, girl, don't have no miscarriage. Get somewhere and sit down. Because they said you about 7 months. You need to get somewhere and sit down, right? So now, after everything has hit the fan, the guys come in talking about they done put out this fire. And then Jordan is reading the room and he sees that everybody is looking crazy. So Jordan like, are y'all good? Penelope like, no. And then Jordan is like, somebody need to talk to me right now. And then they look over and then he is like, him. He's the one that need to be talking about Gary. And so Gary looking dumb like, what? You know what? You know what you've been doing. And so Danny is like, you need to start talking or I will, Gary. And Gary is like, Penelope, can we just go somewhere and talk? Danny like, nah, we're going to do this right here. We're going to do this right now because you got to tell the truth. And then Gary is like, stay out of it, Danny. This is a private matter. Child, Danny got crazy. Danny is like, hold on, wait. So Danny is like, this dude has been with Andi. This dude been with Andi and your sister at the same time. He asked to marry Andi, but Andi told him no because she got some sense. Then he brought the same exact ring for Andi, a penthouse apartment, and he bought his sister a car. He bought Andi the Rolls Royce. And then Danny like, remember the Rolls Royce we was talking about? Yep. Gary the one that brought it for her. And then Gary like, no, like, no, we not finna talk about this, right? And then Danny looking over at the girls like, am I right? Here goes Sabrina. Yes, you're right. Didn't he do it? Yes, he did. That's Sabrina, because it seemed like this whole episode, Sabrina was just being like a mockingbird, pretty much. You know how the Migos, mama, I got a new Mercedes. That was Sabrina. She was the echo, right? And so Andi asks Penelope, how far along are you? Penelope says, I'm 7 months. Jordan gets upset. Now, he want to run up on Gary. Like, I know you're not doing this to my sister, but they holding him back. And then Tony jumps in the conversation. And he was like, hold on, bro. You know, you've been in this friend group. We brought you in this friend group. And he said, you know, we do things like men. What you're doing is like a little boy. He talking about I should take my belt off and whoop your butt. Why Danny over there in the background? Whoop his butt. Whoop his butt. I said, if this ain't Hustle and Flow, whoop that trick. Get him, whoop that trick. Get him. I was like, okay. And now Tony mad. So they holding Tony back. And then Gary like, you both need to relax. I'm like, child, all y'all need to relax. And somebody need to get punched, Gary. All right. So Gary gets directly in Penelope's face. And he starts crying. Now, when I tell y'all, like I said earlier, the way Andi viewed their relationship and the way Gary viewed the relationship. So Gary gets in Penelope's face and he starts crying. And he said, I never loved her. She's not important. She doesn't matter. She's someone that I used to just have sex with. She doesn't matter. Penelope, you are the only woman I loved. I was like, dang, you didn't love your ex-wife? Okay, it is what it is. You cheated on her. But you cheated on Penelope too. And you cheated on Andi. But anyway, I'll continue. You are the only woman I ever loved. I never loved her. You are the only one. You are the woman. It says, this woman is a side piece. I said, oh, not the side piece. I left home to be with my side piece. Hold on, but wouldn't that make Penelope the side piece, but she just got pregnant? Okay, anyway. So she said she's just a side piece. She's not marriage material. He said, you are. And I'm sorry about all this confusion. I know it's a lot, but she meant nothing to me. I swear I will be your perfect fiance, boyfriend, husband for you and our baby. I said, dang. So Gary is going from side chick to side chick. He left home to be with his side chick. Then he left that side chick home to be with another one. Gary, you be doing too much. Papa was a Rolling Stone. And then what happened to your other baby that you had with your wife, with your ex-wife? Where that little boy at? I don't never see you spending time with him. Anyway, so Penelope slaps the fire to Gary. Plop! Ouch. I hit myself. Sorry. Ooh, I shouldn't have did that. Anyway, so Penelope slaps Gary, and Danny is like, "Excuse me, Jordan, where your knives at? Cause yeah, all these things he's saying about Andy were all lies." And here go Gary. No, she's a lie. He said you are. Gary says she's the lie, and Penelope is all that matters to him. And he like, you gonna believe all these girls and not me? Penelope said, get out. And Jordan said, you need to leave. You need to leave right now. So Gary ends up leaving, and then Andy says she leaving. And then as she was leaving, Jordan asks Andy, did she know? And Andy is like, of course not. So all the girls end up leaving. But Tony and Danny talking about they'll see each other at work. And then Richard told Sabrina he'll call her later. So I was just like, who tell the truth and shame the devil? Because this was a lot going on over here. Gary, you done got yourself in a pickle. And I know, and the thing about it is, I do know a lot of the stuff that be happening, but I really don't be wanting to talk about it because a lot of times we see stuff that happen, but then it's like Tyler Perry will change it a little bit. So I be really want to know what he gonna do when he bring it out. I just want to see how he gonna bring it out and let the people know what's going on. So after that scene was over, Maurice is having a freedom party, I'm assuming, because he down there at the gay bar. Calvin was supposed to come with him, but he didn't show up. And I really don't know what the bartender name is, the white bartender. So don't get mad if I keep calling him the white bartender because I don't know his name. All right. So the bartender friend comes over to celebrate with Maurice. He asks about Calvin. Calvin ain't there. And he asks, was the court case over? Maurice says, yes, he's free or whatever. And then he says, when Maurice says, well, the bartender says, you could have lost everything. Maurice says, I did lose everything. I lost my gowns, my wig, and my girdles. The boy said, not all that. I'm talking about your freedom, right? And then the bartender is just like, look, we out here to celebrate your freedom. We ain't worried about all this stuff. We putting Q in the past and all that, right? And so the new guy walks over. His name is Patrick. So I'm assuming this is going to be the new love interest that everybody was talking about that Maurice is going to have in the future. All right. So the new guy comes over, Pat, and Pat says, hey, don't I know you? You work at Brookhaven, which is the bank. I ain't never seen nobody come up in this bank. I seen maybe 8 people, and I did not see Patrick come in that bank now time. Did y'all see Patrick come in that bank? Because I ain't never seen that bank full. Anyway, so he says he always wanted to walk up and talk to him, but he was seeing somebody at the time, but he's single now, so he trying to really shoot his shot. And then Pat talking about he don't never really come to places like this. And then Maurice like, places like what? Pat reaches in and, whispers, a gay bar. And then he was like, everybody who ain't here gay? And everybody said, we all gay. Yeah, right? So Patrick was like, well, I mean, I'm gay. Maurice like, me too. But the thing he was saying is he just don't like to be around a bunch of noise. He don't like to be amongst the crowd. He just a real cool dude, And so he asked Maurice if he want to get out of there. And Maurice says, I'm not sleeping with you. You want me to sleep with you? I said, Maurice, why don't you calm down? Can you act like a lady? You say you a lady, act like one. And then Pat says, no, I'm just trying to get away from the noise. And he says he wants to go to the park. Maurice talking about, you want to sleep with me at the park? You want to sleep at the park? They used to call me Swing Set. I said, Mr. Swing Set, can you please stop swinging? And just listen to what the man got to say. You ain't got to open your legs up to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. No point intended. All right. Maurice talking about, no, he black. I'm like, a lot of black people, they take walks in the park. They jog in the park. They take their kids to the park. They take their dog to the dog park. It's okay, Maurice, to do things that you normally don't do. All right. So Pat ends up asking if he has a pen and paper to get Maurice's number. Maurice talking about, child, this ain't the stone age. So Maurice gives Pat his phone. He puts his phone number in Maurice's phone. And then Pat end up leaving. Maurice tells the little bartender dude, ooh, I want him so bad. Ooh, I want him so bad. And calm down. Have you learned from Q? He said, but Maurice says he gonna take his time. And he gonna take it one day at a time. And then they go back to the party and have a good time, right? All right, that's cool. So now the girls, they in the car. and they're on their way home. And so Andi is very sad and she's upset because she is now going over everything in her mind what Gary said about her. But Danny in the back seat, and Danny ain't taking her foot off of Gary's neck. And she just saying, I still can't believe this happened. It's low down, dirty, stinking, nasty, fart butt, everything. She just calling this man any name that come out of her head. That's what Gary is, and it's all bad, right? Okay, so Andi and Danny is like, Andi, he was in love with you, and Andi loved him. But Sabrina is like, look, she still hurt, Danny. Just kind of leave it alone. Yeah, I think I said that wrong because I typed this wrong. Danny said he was in love with Andi and Andi loved him. I think I just said that the same thing. But anyway, but Sabrina just like, look, she hurt. Maybe we should just sit in silence for a while because we just kind of want to, chill out. Don't do too much. Don't do too much. But Danny ain't trying to hear none of that. Danny ain't trying to really go home anyway. So I think that's why she's trying to keep the night going because she don't want to go home and face Preston. But Danny ends up calling Karen on the phone and tells her what happened. Sabrina don't want to go over Karen's house, but Karen like, why y'all want to come to my house? So they end up going over Karen's house. They was 15 minutes away. So they on their way over there. All right. So now you have Zach and Fatima. Fatima over there sleep, but she not sleep. And Zach, he can't sleep because he's still worried about baby Michael. So Fatima like, not sleeping is not going to help you, Zach. And Zach said, I know, I don't know where he's sleeping, and this is crazy. He just can't wait till the morning come because he's really thinking about baby Michael. He was like, I can't sleep when I know he ain't sleeping good, or I don't even know where he's sleeping at. So, he just really, really anxious for morning come so they can go and see the judge first thing in the morning. And so Fatima is like, if you want to go, we can go right now. But Zach is like, no, we ain't trying to pee her off because that'll be bad for the both of us. He said he just gonna wait till the morning and try to figure it out then. So Fatima is like, oh, I'm proud of you. I'm seeing another side of you right now. And Zach said, if I knew from the beginning that I had a son, I would have been there from the beginning. And Zach is like, my son ain't gonna grow up one of them fatherless boys because the mother ain't no good, pretty much. And then Zach goes into talking about how he met her and what happened. And so he said it was only 5 minutes. He said, I was drunk out of my mind. He broke up with Karen. He was at the strip club. He went straight to the VIP at the strip club. He just wanted to feel good. And Fatima was like, you had money for the VIP? That's what I said. I was like, dang, VIP kind of high. I know you had money like that, Zach. But Zach told me they went up for $20. I said $20. Fatima said $20. Oh, okay. So she took you to the VIP for $20 and you just ran up in her and she was a stripper. You just went in raw dog. Okay. So Zach like, so you judging me right now? He talking about me and my boys coming in hot. I didn't know none of this would happen. Me and my boys, we just coming in hot. And Fatima like, you and your boys, she cracking a joke and says, did you and your boys see all the other boys coming in and out? I mean, clearly the girl gets around. And Zach talking about he didn't even want to talk about it no more. He says he can't even remember. He was drunk. He said my boys was coming in there like, okay, Zach, we out. Zach said, give me 5 minutes. He did his 5 minutes. And Fatima looking like, dang, 5 minutes. So your boy, you pregame, right? So you was pre-ready. Anyway, Zach talking about, if you trying to lighten this mood, you doing a really bad job. And he said 5 minutes. He said, I made a 5-minute mistake. And I ended up having an innocent child with a crazy baby mama that gets beat on. I said, that is so sad. 5 minutes and you got all this headache. That's really, really sad. And then Patina just reassures him again, like she always does. It's going to be okay. I ain't never let you down. We in this fight together. And We gonna hold it down to in the morning. Let's get some sleep and morning to be here before you know it. Fatima talking about I love you. Well, Zach tells Fatima, I love you, and he don't know where she came from, how she got here, but he just glad that she's there. I said, you know what, that was real sweet. But Zach, it is sad though. You know what I'm saying? You up in there mad at one person, mad at Karen, and now you end up having this baby that you gotta deal with for the rest of your life. Child, what they say, think before you act. And Zach wasn't doing no thinking, and that's crazy. Anyway, so Gary ended up going up over at Hayden house, and he says that he needs to talk to Hayden. Gary talking about, man, they just blew my stuff up. And Gary Hayden looking at him like, what's going on? What's going on? Because, you know, he got a thick thing upstairs that he trying to get to. So what's going on, Gary? Gary said, I just got my stuff blown up. It was this woman I was dealing with, and Andy was there over to her brother's house. And then Hayden just like, well, you know what? Just tell Andy that the woman didn't mean nothing, that she ain't mean nothing. And Gary saying it's a lot of information that he left out. The woman is pregnant, and he's in this dilemma. And he likes Andy, but he loves this other woman because the woman is wifey material. And he said he didn't want to make the choice. And Hayden is just like, you know that sound crazy, right? Gary talking about he like every other man. Hayden like, except for me, I got my thick thing upstairs. And Gary like, man, please, you barely knew that woman for only 2 weeks. And then look, Hayden like, okay, whatever. You got some money, right? You got some money? And Gary like, yeah, I got money. Like, I got money. And he said, well, look, this ain't no legal matter. He said, this ain't no legal matter. You just need to make a choice. Gary don't want to make the choice. And he says this, tonight, that choice was made for you, meaning Penelope all yours. You don't even have to really do nothing. And so he says that you need to go home and you need to talk to old girl. But Gary said that Penelope won't talk to him. So then he says you need to go and talk to Andy. Here go Gary. Now I can't talk to her either because he said some real crazy stuff about her. And so Hayden like, what you say? You know what I'm saying? What you say? Gary don't really want to get into it. He just really, he gonna just go and go home. I was like, dang, that's crazy. Okay, so he said the first thing that he said that he didn't like, he said that Andy wasn't marriage material when he was in front of everybody. And now when it's just him and Hayden, he still says again that Andy is not marriage material. So he done said this twice. One in Andy's face and another one not in Andy's face. So Gary is really saying how he really feels about Andy. He really thinks that this lady is not marriage material. And like I said, and it's mighty funny how us women will say things, I guess, just to make us feel better. Because in this conversation that's finna happen over here at Karen's house, it's totally different almost as far as the feelings in regards to Gary. All right, so let's get into that. So they get over there to Karen's house, and you know, Danny, she want to get something to drink. Andy over there looking crazy, and Sabrina is the concerned friend, and Karen just trying to figure out what's going on. So Karen like, what happened? And then Danny said, she says, I'm on her side. Andy says, don't rub it in, because everybody know that Danny is the friend that tells the truth. She always speaks the truth, but then when she do speak the truth, the girls don't want to hear it, and then they get mad, and she end up getting mad too. And Danny lets Andy know that, like, you don't even know who your friends are, because your friends are the one that's going to tell you the truth. Karen is trying to still figure out what happened. Andy is like, I found out Gary was engaged at the barbecue. All right. And so Sabrina is like, yeah, Jordan, the new guy. And so Karen looking like, okay, so all of this happened at this barbecue? Like, really? So Andy starts to talk, and she's just like, his sister showed up, and she was very pregnant. And she was telling us about this guy she was dating. He brought her an apartment and a new car. Here goes Sabrina. A Rolls Royce? Okay. Andy says, okay, now I need a drink, right? So Karen is like, I knew I didn't like him. I knew he was a piece of mess. I knew he was a piece of mess, and he still is. And they was like, yep, you was right about him. And then Andi is like, so why am I sitting here feeling like I'm a piece of mess? And then she proceeded to say that, and then she proceeded to tell her that that Andi meant nothing to Gary. Yeah, that she didn't mean anything to Gary. And she was not marriage material. And she said this in front of everybody. And she says it really, really hurt her. And Danny says this. Danny says that Gary just wanted to hurt her. And then she said she should have just let Tony beat his butt. And then here goes Sabrina. She chimes in about Tony, talking about, yeah, Tony and Danny, they are a lot alike. And they are the voices of reason when it comes to the friend groups. Are they the voices of reason? Yeah, I guess so. I ain't never really heard Tony just give a good conversation like that. But I know Danny is the voice of reason of the girls group that they're in right now. All right. So here's Andi again. Am I marriage material? And Danny is like, man, that nigga not marriage material. That's why his wife left him. That's why his wife is crazy. And then she says, don't even let a nigga tell you that to make you feel bad. Then it seems like a light bulb came on in Andi's head. And she's like, this is my karma. Like, this is my karma. He cheated on me with his wife. And now I end up getting cheated on. You see? Do you agree? Okay. Oh, y'all, weigh in and let me know. Because, let me finish. I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. And then here goes Sabrina, trying to make Andi feel good. No, we know you're a good person. He said he was going through a divorce. And that's all you knew. What were you supposed to do? He's the one that lied, because he's the one that said that he was going through a divorce. And Danny said, yeah, he's bad, but that doesn't give you a pass not knowing. And that's where I wanted to have the conversation with y'all about. Does it give you a pass if you don't know? Because at the end of the day, it is his fault. But my thing is, when Andi found out that man was married, Andi continued to mess with that man. Andi continued to date him. Andi continued to jump up and down on that man. She did it, knowing that man was married. She didn't wait for him to get a divorce. Now, some people say this. If they're separated, they say, well, if they're separated and still married, it's okay because they're separated. But then some people say, nope, I got to see the papers because I'm not finna mess with him because he's still married. So what do you all think? In my head, if them papers ain't signed wet, you still married. So I'm not finna fool with you. That's me. I'm not fooling with you. Now, you may think something different. It is what it is. But remember, Danny said, just because you don't know, don't give you a pass. That doesn't mean that karma is not coming. Because it is. Even when you did know, you still was sleeping with that man, Andi. That's crazy. But anyway, Karen said, but you know now. And she said, and maybe you should do what I'm doing. You need to just take a break from dating. Then they talk about, oh, yeah, that's easy. It don't even count for you because you pregnant. And Karen talking about pregnant women date. And then they talking about you can't be up in the club pregnant. It's a whole bunch of women be in the club pregnant. And Andi talking about, yeah, I'll take a break. And so Sabrina is just like, so you're going to take a break even though you met a great guy. Danny is saying, I mean, you gonna let boy Gary keep you from dating a great guy? I mean, I don't know. And Sabrina said that's maybe why Gary was saying all this stuff so Jordan could hear it and Jordan wouldn't want to date. And Jordan wouldn't want to date Andi. See, it's like now they trying to still make Andi feel good because Sabrina is saying the only reason why he said that is because he was in Jordan's face. And he was just trying to tear Andi down in Jordan's face. So Jordan wouldn't want to date Andi. But remember when I said earlier, when he was alone, when it was just Gary and Hayden, he said those same sentiments. He felt the same way. He didn't change it not one time. So in my mind, Gary really feels like Andi is not wifey material. And he was just somebody that he can jump up and down with. It was like a game to him. Andi was a whole game. And they always broke up and got back together. They broke up and got back together. They never really had a real solid relationship. So I can actually see why Gary is pressing toward this other woman, because she's pretty much the opposite of Andi. Yeah, she's the opposite of Andi. But the thing about it is, though, Gary, you done gave everything you gave Andi, you gave to this girl. Now, if she's the total opposite, you should have gave her opposite gifts. Girl, child. Anyway, so Andi says she gonna take a break. Karen says she ordered pizza. And the girl said, only one want pizza is Danny, because Danny ain't trying to go home. And the other girls got to get home. All right. So now this next scene is Zach and Fatima finally went to sleep. And then they end up getting a phone call from the nosy neighbor, Sherry, telling them to come over there right now because the ambulance is there. Zach looked like he was asleep for real, child. I said, boy, wake up. Your son over there. We don't know if he in the ambulance or not. So Zach talking about, is it Michael? Nobody knows. And then the scene went out. But yeah, overall, I think this was a pretty good episode. But my thing is, yeah, Andi, I do believe it's your karma. Because for the simple fact, when you did find out that man was married, you still was jumping up and down on him. And yeah, it is. And for me, if that ink ain't dried and signed, sealed, and delivered, that man is still married. So it is what it is. Y'all, this is Sheila B. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all have a great day. Bye.